Hello and welcome to Unmuted Families. If you are new here, Unmuted Families will be episodes that you are safe to listen to with your entire family, whether that be your young kids, your teenagers, your parents. Unmuted is my way of getting my voice back, and that was step one, so to speak. Step two was to make Unmuted Families, to give you a place to not only listen to episodes with your families, but also maybe the grown-ups have a couple episodes they could listen to when it's just them. Unmuted Guest Conversations, if you've seen that episode announcement, is when I bring my friends to have conversations that I can't have all by myself. There's a step 4, and that is this episode. Now, I want it stated again, I will keep saying it because I want your family to feel safe every time you hear my voice. This topic is going to cover grief. That does not mean that I'm going to say something that is going to terrify a member of your family. If you've been around a while and you've seen some of my other content, you know that there is a superhero safety villain called Ghoul. Ghoul was created because one of my friends lost their mother, and it doesn't matter if you have warning, it always catches you off guard when the time comes. Now, my friend has a wonderful, beautiful, so smart little girl who not only lost her grandma, a woman who meant the absolute world to her, but she's also had to navigate watching her mother deal with the grief. That's a lot on a little girl's heart. And I know that any of you children listening right now, if you've ever seen your grown-up, doesn't matter who the relation is, mom, dad, uncle, grandma, grandpa, it takes a toll. So while most of the family episodes will be a little more lighthearted, we'll talk about friends. Even that stuff can be tough. We just discussed it in the other episode. But there will be times where I create episodes like this. You're still meant to listen to it as a family. And I don't pretend to be a therapist. I am not. I have no therapist credentials. I did not go to school for this. Well, I technically did. I started school. I did. Full transparency. I did want to be a marriage and family therapist. But the more I went to school for it, and the more I found out what I would be doing, it didn't match what I dreamed of. And so I guess in a way, this is what I dreamed of. Stuff like death is hard to discuss no matter your age. And if something I say, it's just too much for you, then please, for your own mental health, just stop the episode. I will never hold it against you, I promise. I understand, but if you ever reach a point where you are able to finish the episode, you are always welcome to come back. But sometimes we have to face things that we don't want to face. Maybe this can make it a little easier on those of you who need this episode. I have some topics that for all three, unmuted by myself, unmuted families, and unmuted guest conversations, I have some already established topics I would like to make episodes on. But when I get an episode request from an actual child, an actual teen, I can't just let that topic sit there waiting on a list. So I always give priority. If somebody asks for a topic, I'm going to focus on that topic. So I had a Den of the Lion-Hearted member ask me to discuss death for teenagers. Now, that piqued my curiosity as to what specifically this member wanted to talk about. And I guess he is seeing a lot of conversations around death. Influencers dying unexpectedly and it taking over the internet. Family members of friends dying suddenly. And he's seen death in his own life. And he's reached an age where questions start coming up of why does this happen? How do I deal with it? And how do I avoid it? And I realized once I asked for more clarification that this is not an episode where I can just speak to you teenagers and give you all of the answers. And this is one of those topics where it's not something that I can speak all on because I don't have the answers, guys. But I can do this. I can start a conversation and I can tell you what I think. But then when this episode ends, I want you families to talk together. Yes, this is an episode where I'm telling you guys, when I'm done talking, I want you guys to start talking. I want you to talk over me while you're listening. I just want you to talk because I know that one of you listening, I'm not even going to say the age, it doesn't matter. One of you listening is currently holding on to something like this, whether it's your own personal person you know or somebody you've seen on social media. And when you hold on to this, it starts getting dark and you start having questions that if you don't speak them out, they will take over your mind and your heart. And that's a lot for anybody to carry of any age. So let's start talking about it together because that's all we can do right now. Death is hard and it gives no warning. You can watch somebody be very, very sick for a long time and you still will never be prepared for the moment that they're just gone, because that is what of any age is hard. You're supposed to love people with your whole heart, and one day they cannot be there and the rest of the world keeps going. If you don't talk about it, that's where grief Ghoul shows up and they hold on, because when somebody's gone, they don't come back. So there's no showing back up and telling grief Ghoul to get out of their spot. But grief Ghoul doesn't know what to do once you start talking. When you have an actual grown up telling you that person did love you. Let's say your grandma. Grief Ghoul will tell you that your grandma is glad to be gone. She didn't even like you. Now, you may laugh at that. My grandma would never say that. Yeah, I know. That's why you need the grown up to tell you. Grandma didn't want to leave you. She loved you more than anything. She would have spent the rest of time itself playing with you. Her body just got old. His body just got sick and just couldn't hold on anymore. Somebody made a mistake and they hit that person, and that person just couldn't handle the damage. Their body just couldn't do it. None of it is easy, and I know that. I'm not saying all of this to put it all in a box. I'm saying that when somebody's heart stops beating, that doesn't take away the love they felt while it was. And they say that death teaches you lessons, and I sure know I wouldn't want to hear that in the moment of grief. That would really upset me. But I think in the moment of grief, a lot would upset me. So outside of the grief, I do think sometimes there's nothing to learn. It just is hard. But I know there was a situation where a little boy I knew, a cat showed up to his home, and it was a stray kitten and was very messed up, dirty, sick, and this boy never even found out where the cat came from. He came home with his family one day and this cat was just sitting in the yard, and he loves this cat. He loves animals, but this cat, he loved him so much. And his mom had offered to let him hold him, and his younger brother had even slept with this kitten, and he didn't hold the cat because he was so afraid of harming this cat in any way. And well, then one day he went to school, and when he came back, his parents told him that the kitten had died and had now been buried. And the first thing that he said to his parents was, I never held the cat. I had wanted so badly to hold the cat, and I never held the cat. And now I'll never get a chance to hold him. He's just gone. Now, as crazy as this will sound, a few months later, another cat shows up. It was this kitten's mother. I'm not joking with you guys. This kitten's mother showed up, and his family ended up thinking the cat was pregnant. And this boy was like, wow, what are the chances? I'll get the kitten back just in his sibling, Well, one day his parents find out that this cat wasn't pregnant. This cat was actually in end stage liver failure and started to struggle. And so his mother ended up taking the cat to, it's called be put to sleep. It just means that they go to the vet and they help it go to sleep and then it passes. But it's to the cat, it just goes to sleep. There's an end to the pain. And so yet again, this boy had to just say goodbye. And not even at the moment of goodbye, just one moment there's a cat in the carrier, and when mom comes back, there's no more cat, and life moves on. I think anybody listening of any age knows that that's a lot on anybody. It's hard not to sit there and go, well, I'm never going to love anybody, human or animal, because they'll just leave. But what life is that? I've met a lot of people who have died, and I think if you kids talk to your grown-ups, they would tell you the same thing. My own grandma. Oh man, I do an unmuted episode just with her. I called her Mimi. Her real name was Betty. Yeah, and Any of you grown-ups know a Betty. Yeah, she was a powerhouse. And she loved me. She loved me so much. She loved my friends. My Mimi was the type that if any of you showed up, she'd say, if my granddaughter loves you, then I love you. Have a seat. You're having dinner. She was incredible. And as a kid, I was even worried. What if one day she dies? That's why I get this question. Because you reach a point where you start seeing the people around you and you go, well, wait, I want to keep you forever. That means you have a really awesome person around you. Somebody that's painful to think about being gone. And for many years, I did focus on her leaving. And I didn't know that she wouldn't actually leave until I was a grown up. But here's the thing. If I could go back and I could talk to little me about all that fear, I would tell her not to focus on the amount of time that you have with somebody. Just focus on making sure that when that time ends, that you can say you gave it your all. Does that mean every day is going to be good? No. When you love people, sometimes arguments happen. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes you hurt them and you have to apologize and make amends. Sometimes they hurt you and they have to apologize and fix it. It happens. But I've lost enough people to know that when that day comes, none of the little stuff matters. It doesn't. You accidentally breaking a plate of theirs does not matter. I promise you, honey, it doesn't matter. What matters is the big moments. Maybe not big in the moment, but big remembering it. The moments where they made you feel loved. The moments where they made you feel seen. The moments where they scratched your back with their long nails. Where they rubbed the hair out of your face while you fell asleep. Where they stood up next to the scary grown-ups and they said, you be nice to them. That's all what matters. If it's your dog, when your dog is leaving, they're not thinking about the stuff you're worried. They're thinking about how their owner didn't spend enough time with them. No, they're thinking about all the times you did spend time with them. You throwing that ball. Oh man, when you snuck them that food from the table. Oh, it tasted so good. They're thinking about how much you love them and how much they love you. That is what people think about. That is what animals think about. And I know my Mimi would be so sad if I spent the rest of my life thinking about how I had failed her. When my Mimi was at the end of her life, she had what is called Alzheimer's. When it gets bad enough, like it did with her, they start calling it dementia. And it is scary. I mean, it's scary medically, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's scary to watch because when you're a kid, your grandparents, I would assume, but really any grown-up, they look a certain way, they act a certain way. And when things like Alzheimer's hit, it messes with your brain and it makes you forget things. Specifically, it makes you forget people that you love, people that your heart would never forget. And I did learn that with my Mimi. At the very end though, I didn't live in the same state as her, so we did a lot on the phone. And it was hard because I would be talking to her and she wouldn't know who I was. And that made me scared. Now that she's gone, I can share that with you all. That made me very scared to see her because it didn't match what I knew of her. And I knew that I couldn't do anything about it. I knew it would only get worse, and that scared because it felt like I was saying goodbye, but she was still here. And so then I started feeling a little, the only word that comes is conflicted, and that's a really big word. So basically, I started feeling torn in two. One side of me wanted her to be in heaven because then at least I knew she wasn't in pain. And I was scared of her getting really hurt. Like, what was happening to her brain, it was making her just leave her house and walk down the street with her dog. And she didn't understand she was in danger, but we understand as the people who don't have sick brains that if you walk into the middle of the street with cars, it's dangerous. And I started being really scared that something dangerous would happen to her, or a bad guy might see that she's not all there and might hurt her, So I just was very scared. But then at the same time, every time I just wanted her to be in heaven, I felt like a horrible person. And it wasn't that I didn't want her around, but she wasn't her. And so that's before death. And that's why I'm mentioning that. I'm not trying to make it too dark, but I know my Mimi is not the only one who has a sickness in their body that makes them not able to be what we know. And so if you are listening to this, I guess what I'm saying is I can't make an episode where I answer all of it. I don't know. But I do know that you aren't alone in this fear of death, and you aren't alone in questioning why. Why does this happen? Why does this happen to this person? But then this person, it happens in this way. And why are some kittens sick and they get better, and then some kittens are sick and they don't get better? And how does that get chosen? And how does that... You'd never get out of the hole if you kept digging, guys. Believe me, I've been digging. Death is going to come. And as much as you want to prepare, as much as you want to see it coming, all that will happen is you will spend your entire life being scared of it and not living. And that's not a life. And that's not fair to you or the other person. You guys have moments with people around you, and they are good moments. They are beautiful moments. That is what you hold on to when you lose somebody. That's my answer. And it's not a perfect answer. And it may leave you sitting there going, that was a waste of an episode, but that's my answer. Love people while you have them. Love animals while you have them. This boy may not have held the kitten, but he sure sat next to the kitten and told it how special it was and how glad this boy was that this kitten had visited him, even for a couple days. That is what the kitten left with, not sitting there angry at this boy because he didn't hold him. The kitten was not thinking that. The kitten was thinking, man, I must be the luckiest cat on earth to have this many people surrounding me, loving me. Man, what are the chances? That's why my answer is just love people. Appreciate the time you spend with them. And tell them that you appreciate the time that you spend with them. Thank them for the lessons they're giving you. I know many of us have had porch, backyard, campfire, couch talks with people we love, where they have shared their insight and their wisdom and their memories. In those moments, thank them. And sometimes thanking them isn't saying, hey, thank you. Sometimes it's focusing on their words. It's facing them, putting the phone down, and truly listening. Because that much I do know. When somebody leaves, you're not sitting there going, man, I really wish I had spent more time scrolling Facebook. All that time I spent with them, I really wish I was watching TikToks. No, you don't miss what you were doing while they spoke. You miss them speaking. You miss hearing their voice. You miss spending that time with them. So if you have somebody right now, you have them right now. You don't know you're going to have them even at the end of the day, tomorrow, next week, next year. You don't know. You may. I hope you do, but you don't know. But you do have them right now. So love them now. Appreciate them now. Make the effort right now, no matter what your age is. If you are listening to this all alone, then I hope you hear my words. If you are listening to this in a car full of people, your family, your friends, your coworkers, on a carpool, I don't know. I can't see you, but you can hear me. So if I speak this out into whatever you want to call it, out into unmuted, my words have to land with somebody. I know that. I know what it is like to have somebody die and forever hold on to this. I just want one more moment. I just want one more conversation. Just one where I tell them how much they meant to me. I hate to break it to you. I have yet to get that. I'm at a point where I speak it into the universe and I just hope it gets to them. So I can't fix that. I can't go back. I can't go and make sure that my inner child appreciates everybody that I know will eventually leave. I can't. But I can sit here and I can film this and I can tell you. And maybe you can do something different. So I know this isn't the answer that Den of the Lion-Hearted teen probably was expecting or hoping for. He probably wanted me to give him the perfect answer to make the ache stop. And I really wish I could have given him that answer, but I've lived too many years, and I refuse to lie. So sometimes the truth is something as simple as love people while you have them. And then if and when they are ever not around anymore, in whatever way they leave, with whatever warning you happen to get, leave yourself with the ability to say, I gave it all I could. I loved them while I had them. And now I have the memories, and I will hold on to their memory, and I will tell people about them, and I will share the memories and the wisdom and the love that they so willingly showed me. I guess that would be the second thing. Love people, appreciate them, spend quality time with them, and then take all that you have learned from your time with them, and you do good in the world. You take all that they were in their memory, and you pour that memory everywhere you go. Like seeds in a garden. I'm talking wildflowers. I'm talking, that box of mix, and you're supposed to just sprinkle it, and it just boom everywhere. Yeah, do that with their memory everywhere you go. That is a way to honor them. Even if you can't hear their voice anymore, even if you can't sit on the couch next to them anymore, they gave you a gift in their memory. So I want you to scatter it like wildflowers everywhere, all over people. Okay, maybe not all over people, but you get what I'm saying. They may not be alive anymore, but you are. So make it count. Because for all the time that you focus on who you've lost, there's people right around you who you are their everything. They're watching you. They want to spend quality time with you. That does not take away from the person you've lost. That does not mean that their memory is not as important to you. That just means that these people are right in front of you right now, and they need the memories with you. They need your wisdom, your love, your seeds. Don't spend your whole life looking into the past and trying to figure out why you can't change it. You can't. It's the past. You can't undo the mistakes, and you can't spend more quality time with them now. But you can, yet again, learn and take what you've learned to make the world a better place. And that includes the people who are currently in it right now. None of us are promised a bit more of time. We are blessed when we get it. I am so very blessed to be here filming this with you. But there will be a day where this is all you have left of me. I hope that is many years from now. I hope I got a lot of audios for you to listen to. But what if I never filmed this? What if I thought, this won't help anybody, and I just kept it inside? The day my heart stops beating, there is no filming this audio. I'm filming it right now, and that's why. Because even if I say this and not a single person cares, I still said it. I still have it. And those that love me have just another reminder of people that they may not even remember. They may have never met Mimi, but you just learned about her. So even for just a brief moment, she lived again. And I'm telling you, I did know her. I'd make every episode about her because she was that wonderful. She was that powerful. And even without her being here to tell you herself, I'm telling you, this would be one of her favorite episodes because she would completely agree. She loved her family. And I know, even with her brain being sick, she loved her family until the day she was gone. But one of the things that she wasn't somebody who feared death. She wanted to live as long as possible. She wanted to love people. She's a big part of this lesson I've just given you. But anytime death came up, she didn't fear it. She was excited to see her mom. She was. She said, the day that it's my time, my mom's coming to get me. I'm going to see my dad again. I'm going to see my siblings. Those words, even back then as a kid, they told me that she had lost some people. I never met them. I didn't know them, but they meant a lot to her. So I listened. Because if you mean a lot to my Mimi, then you mean a lot to me. See how that works? I've now grown up, and I know for a fact, if my family, if my friends bring somebody to me and they go, hey, this person means a lot, just like Mimi, have a seat. I'll get you a plate. Because if you mean a lot to somebody I love, then you mean a lot to me. Death stops your heart. Death stops your time here on earth, but it cannot stop the love that you show people. It cannot stop memories. Yes, it hurts to grieve. You feel it. Please, don't shove it down. Don't expect it to just go away, because that's how grief Ghoul gets in control. And we are not going to let Grief Ghoul get in control. They're a villain, and they will lie to you, and they will convince you that none of the good happened, mattered, will mean anything. That's not true. We are all blessed to meet people through our lives, our stories, our journeys. People come in, they leave. Sometimes by choice, such as not being friends with somebody. Sometimes they die. Sometimes kittens get sick. Sometimes grandmas get sick. Sometimes accidents happen. Sometimes we're teens when we lose people. Sometimes we're grandmas and we lose our friends. Sometimes we're dads and we lose our dads. Sometimes we're little kids and we lose people. And then our grown-ups start acting weird because they're sad. And I know that you kids know that they're not trying to be sad, that you see it. They're trying to pretend like they're happy, but you're not dumb. Us grown-ups know you're not dumb, but we still try to pretend like everything's okay. Sorry, grown-ups, I know. I'm ruining it for you, but I speak truth. To all age ranges. But we're only doing that because we don't want you to lose us too. You kids are pretending like you're not sad about grandma dying because you don't want to put more on your parents. But your parents are trying not to be sad about their parent dying because they don't want to put more on you. I hate to break it to both of you, but all that's happening is you guys are holding on to what Grief Ghoul is giving you, and you're not communicating, which is just making him stronger in both of your hearts. And that's not going to work here at the Lightness and the Darkness, because we're going to talk about it together in episodes like this. Sure, I'll start the conversation, but this is where you finish it. And by finish it, I don't mean you finish it in a day. No, this is a forever process. Communication doesn't stop because life just keeps happening. And sometimes it's personal, such as a family member. Sometimes it is community, like somebody online suddenly dying and everybody talking about it. And sometimes grown-ups getting really, really overwhelmed with the emotions involved and taking it out on each other and being really mean to each other. And I know for me personally, that makes everything feel even scarier when people start being mean to each other over somebody's death. I've seen it both personally and with what I do here online. Death makes people fight about money. Death makes people fight about whose fault it is, who could have stopped it, the truth of what happened on that day, and the truth of who loved them more. And that's hard to watch, no matter your age. It's hard to watch a bunch of grown-ups fight with each other when you've already lost somebody. So we don't do that here. I hold space if you have pain with choices that you might have made. I do. I validate that. That's not something that I'm telling you to just let go of. Okay, we can talk about that too, and we can heal through that too. That is okay. It's okay to be frustrated with yourself, be frustrated with others, be frustrated with the grown-ups. That's okay, but at least talk about it. At least say, I'm frustrated. None of this is fair. None of this makes sense. Because you'd be surprised, your grown-up may turn to you and go, you know what, you are right. I'm mad too. This isn't fair. Stop being mad at each other. Stop being mad at yourself. Just talk. Make the memories. Love the people. Honor the people in the past. Honor the people in your present. We are all human, and we are all living our own lives, and all of our time, the little unseen time where it tells you how long you have left. Yeah, we can't see it for ourselves, and we can't see it for others. So that means it is all up to the universe. And I sure know that for everybody that I know, I don't want that clock to reach 0 and me have yet another, I didn't appreciate him enough. Now, here's the honesty. I kind of feel like no matter how much you love somebody, in the end you may still feel like you didn't love them enough. But well, I'm sure gonna try, I'm gonna do my best, because that's all I can do, and that's all you can do. Just try, because even if Grief Ghoul tells you that you didn't do enough, whatever you did is enough. I wish I could tell you something to end this with that you go, oh man, it all makes sense now. And I knew going into filming this that this isn't a easy topic, but I think I've given you something to start with. Hopefully you have enjoyed your time in this episode, even talking about grief and death and sick kittens. I guess I just couldn't end this episode without you fully understanding that yes, death is isolating to specific people, to specific families, to specific communities, but in a way we are all connected by it. Same as birth. If you're listening to this, you were born, and so are the people around you. And just like death, birth is unique. Keep the conversation going, guys. Talk to each other. Those of you who need hugs, ask for the hug. Give the hug. To those of you who may not need the hug as much as you just need the person to sit next to you and remind you that you are not in this alone, you deserve that as well. Some people don't like physical touch. They don't need you to hold them. They just need you to hear them. They just need you to see them. So maybe pay attention to those people around you. How do they show love? How do they make memory? How do they share wisdom? That's why I can't give you the answer to all of this, because I don't know the people around you like you do. I don't know your family like you do. I don't know your friends like you do. That's why you were put there in the exact spot you are, with the people that you are. You were created. You are here because you are living a life and a story and a chapter that is all written for you. The past chapters, they're done. You're on to this new one. Some people's books are over. Yours isn't. You're listening to this. So their book may be over, but you're still allowed to write about them in yours. While you have new characters and you are writing a wonderful story with those new characters, while also talking about the lessons and the love and the wisdom from the old characters. But in the end, it's still your book. So make the story count, guys. Don't hold it inside. Don't wish you had done things different. Do it different now. That's all you can do. I'll see you on the next episode. Or I guess I'll speak to you on the next episode. And to the asker of this question, I hope this helps you. And I am always open to more episodes if you need more. I will give you as many episodes as you need, because I understand how powerful this could be in the future for you. And I will tell you all you need to hear. All you want to hear. I will tell you over and over and over and over and over how loved you are, how much you mean to people, and how you will never, ever, ever, ever be somebody that gets forgotten. Whether you were to die today or you were to die 75 years from now, whether your parents are gone before you or after you or at the same time as you, you are not somebody who gets forgotten. You are too wonderful, and you are not alone in this fear. Believe me, you are not alone in the fear that you have about death. I just don't want you to be consumed by it for so many years that you become a grown-up who is looking over your shoulder because you're so sure that Ghoul is just going to sneak up on you at any moment. If he sneaks up on you, on any of you, then we will be by your side and you will get through it. Just like if Ghoul sneaks up on any of us, our community will step up and we will make sure that everybody in this village gets through it, because that is what we do here. And we will not stop. We will not let death